Hi everyone. We're going to begin in a seated easy pose, placing your hands on your knees. You'll inhale, gently rolling your shoulders up and back, making sure you really press the shoulders up to the ears and down your back. Really starting to feel the release of the tension in your shoulders. We'll change directions, sending the shoulders up and forward this time. Remembering to breathe here. You don't want to stifle the breath. Now we're going to wiggle out our hands and our wrists a little bit before we place them gently on our shoulders, taking circles with our shoulders, bringing the elbows out in front of us, inhaling, bringing them down your back. And you can go as slow or as fast as you would like. Switching directions when you've done at least 3. We're really just massaging our back shoulder muscles. Remembering taking this as slow or as fast as you would like. And staying in a seated position, you're going to inhale your right arm up, and as you exhale, send the weight over to your left arm, making sure that you're breathing into the right side of the body and not dumping all of your weight onto that left hand. Rising up. Inhaling the left arm up and sending your right arm beside you. We're breathing into the left side of the body. And imagine just filling your lungs and opening up the side body more and more. You can turn your gaze downward if that works best for your neck. We'll come back up. Now we're going to do some seated cat-cows. Inhaling, sending the shoulders back. Exhaling, rounding the spine, pushing all of the air out. This is a great warm-up for the spine as well as the front body. Doing it in a seated position takes the pressure off of your wrist. If you're starting to feel any pain in your neck, you don't have to send your neck as far back and as far into your chest as I am. You can just gaze slightly upwards and slightly downwards. We're going to come into extended puppy pose. Bending our knees, walking our hands out in front of us. This will loosen any tightness you may feel in your shoulders. This pose is great for those of us who sit all day, as it really stretches the spine as well as the shoulders. And I love it because it's a cross between child's pose and downward facing dog. Now we're going to come into child's pose. We'll bring the toes to touch, but I'm going to place a blanket in my hip crease before I fold myself over my thighs. I do this because I have pretty tight hips, and this pose can cause a lot of aggravation in my hips if I don't practice it with a blanket. Sending our arms over to the right side, remembering to continue to breathe here. Sending our arms over to the left-hand side. Really just feeling that rest. And we'll come back to the middle, still staying in child's pose, inhaling our right arm up to the ceiling and exhaling, sending it under our left arm for a thread the needle. We're keeping it a little bit gentle here by remaining in child's pose. And if you're using a blanket, feel free to readjust as you need to. Inhaling our left arm up into the ceiling and threading it underneath our right arm. Remember, if you have to adjust, if you have to send your knees out wider or bring them in a little bit more, feel free to do so. We'll stay here for a few breaths. And as we come up, we'll place our blanket to the side. We don't need it right now. We're going to lie on our back and come into a reclined figure 4, holding the back of the left thigh and placing our right foot on our left knee. Gently hugging the left leg in towards our chest. And this is a pretty gentle hip stretch. But if for any reason, if your hips are unhappy, you don't have to pull them into your chest as much as I do. You can leave the lifted foot on the bed instead. And that would make it even more gentle for your body. I personally have tight hips, so I like to bring my legs in so that I can get a little bit of a stretch in there. Because if I don't, they'll just tighten right back up. Bringing both of our knees together for a slight hug, flexing and pointing the toes here, rolling them a little bit before you send them over to the left-hand side, cactusing the arms and sending your gaze over to the right for a reclined spinal twist. And if turning your head to the side is not available to you right now, you don't have to do that. You can leave your head in a neutral position and just keep it in the middle of your body, and feel free to close your eyes. We'll hug our knees once more before sending them over to the right, sending our gaze over to the left, cactusing our arms. And I invite you to close your eyes and just breathe into the twist. I get a lot of lower back pain because I sit for the majority of the day at work, so this pose always feels really, really good. Bringing your knees in once more, giving them a hug. Bringing the knees into the armpits for happy baby. You can sway side to side if this feels good. You don't have to do this pose. I just really like to do it before I set up for the final pose that I'm doing. So I'm going to start setting up for legs up the wall, or should I say legs up the headboard, since we're on the bed. I just placed the pillows beside me to get them out of the way. And I'm putting the blanket where the base of my neck is going to go, since I know that my neck can tend to get a little angry with me. And it can take a few moments of moving around to get you as close to the headboard as you can be. Now I'm resting my legs on the headboard, and you can either rest your legs on the headboard, or if you want, you can not use the headboard and you can use your core strength to keep your legs up. Remember to just do whatever feels best for you in this moment. It's all about what your body needs, what you feel is best. This pose is great because it elicits the relaxation response. And that's a form of resting while you're awake, which feels different from being in a state of sleep. It also reverses the way that our blood is flowing. Our blood is constantly flowing down our bodies, so this is helping us with our circulation, helping the blood flow the opposite way. Gently stretching our legs and helping us calm our mind. coming out of the legs up the wall position. We'll come into easy seat again, or a comfortable seated position, placing one hand on your heart and the other on your belly, feeling your breath fill both hands evenly. Taking a few breaths here. We'll bring our hands together to our forehead and to our hearts, and we'll share a bow.